Good evening and welcome to another episode of Ox Sports Unleashed in Series 2, Episode 2. Should have been Episode 3. I'm away a week. They couldn't do a show without me, obviously. But there we go. Is that right?
That's pretty much it.
That's pretty But welcome, wherever you are, in your living rooms, your bathrooms, your jacuzzis, your sheds, wherever you are, thank you for joining us on this Thursday night. And hopefully we will delve into grassroots sports around Oxfordshire, and hopefully there's a sport that is close to your hearts through this next hour or so. Yep, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep it to an hour. We keep our fingers crossed on that one.
Time.
Yeah, we did all right.
1 minute over.
That's true. We'll keep our fingers crossed again for that. But there's loads coming up tonight for everybody, so please stay tuned. An exclusive interview with a certain Gus Miller as well at the back end of the show, so please stay tuned for that and plenty more. Had a good week?
Not had a bad week. Not a bad week. No, all good. Thank you very much. Just looking forward to tonight's show. Lots of coverage of lots of different sports again, and hopefully you'll be liking and subscribing to the channel and getting as many of your friends to subscribe as possible. We're getting there. It's increased by over 100 since the end of last series. So. Still a way off 1,000, but that will be our first target. Then we can hopefully monetize the channel and then put some of the money that we get from the channel back into grassroots sport, which was one of the aims of the programme. Right, we're going to start this week not with football. Oxford City didn't have a game because they were knocked out of the FA Cup, so they had a week off, which is a bit of a shame because they had a really good draw up at Scunthorpe the week before. So we're going to start this week with the oval ball with the Rugby Union, and it's Chinner who are, as we know, competing now in the English Championship, the second tier of English rugby. Absolutely incredible. They had a top of the table clash early in the season, I know, but a top of the table clash last weekend away to Coventry. Coventry were top, Chinner I think were second or third at the time, and here are the highlights from that very exciting game last Saturday. There you go, 28-14 then defeat for Chinner on what looked like a very pleasant afternoon up in the West Midlands in Coventry on what looked like a 4G pitch, but maybe it was just a really good groundsman and really good grass. But yeah, unlucky there for Chinner because they've had a really decent start to the season in the Championship. They've had a couple of really good wins as well. They now go into a bit of a break because of the controversy over the Premiership Cup, because themselves and Cambridge were excluded from the competition because they were the lowest ranked sides. I know that head coach director of rugby Nick Easter was not happy with that. So what I've noticed on the Chinner Twitter feed is Cambridge and Chinner are going to be competing for not the Premiership Cup over the next 6 weeks, which is quite funny actually, and fair play to them. And they've taken it with some good spirit, even though it was a pretty poor decision in my view that they've been excluded. A great opportunity perhaps for Chinner, who knows, to have played against one of the top sides, Northampton Saints or Exeter, but no, they've been excluded. So good luck to Chinner and to Cambridge in the not the Premiership Cup.
That's like an Oxford-Cambridge real battle, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
That's so cool, brilliant. I didn't know that. That was very interesting. That's taken us quite nicely onto our football roundup for this week with Lock, Lyon and Ryde, or as I like to call them, Charlie's Angels.
So, time to welcome my guests, Paul Lyon and Patrick Lock, to this review of last week's local football results. And Paul, no game for Whitney Town Football Club last Saturday, so it was a real shame they couldn't build on the week before's win back on home turf for the first time in a long, long while, Paul.
Yes, Colin, it was a really great occasion the week before, playing the first home game for Whitney Town for a number of years, and we were looking forward to another great weekend. And I think that it was the night before the game, actually. We had an email to say that Saxton Rovers couldn't get a team together and they weren't coming. That's a major letdown. We had a number of ex-Whitney Town players coming from all over the country, looking forward to another bumper crowd, but it never happened. So, and with Oxford City not playing either, what was there to do? Watching games?
Yeah, and Oxford United as well, not playing as well. So, but when's the next gig then for Whitney Town Football Club, Paul?
This Saturday at home again. It's the Oxfordshire Charity Cup, playing against Longhambra, local derby.
We look forward to that. And Patrick Lock, you're a loyal Oxford City fan, travelling to both home and away games. The international break gave you a bit of a problem, but you decided to go away to Gibraltar to watch a game of football. I mean, what the hell, and how did it go?
We've been chatting with a mate for a while about as soon as Gibraltar plays San Marino in Gibraltar, we were going to go. And this year it gave us opportunity in Nations League. And so we took up on that promise and headed over to Gibraltar, watching football, yeah.
So give us the Gibraltar versus San Marino result. Come on, this is the really Oxford Unleashed goes international.
So it was a game that probably could have finished 2-2 or 3-3 with the number of chances, but Gibraltar edged it in the end. It was 1-0 Gibraltar with a goal about I think it's just after the hour mark. It's actually a nice bit of play. So that's how it ended. And as you probably imagine, the quality was vaguely questionable at times, but I have to say I'm used to watching that level of football, I guess, week in, week out, so it wasn't anything unexpected, really.
All right, so no game for Oxford United, no game for Oxford City, no game for North Lee as well Saturday, but Patrick, Banbury United were at home, so how did that go?
Yeah, not much to report from that game, really. They hosted Bromsgrove Sporting. Neither side was able to break the deadlock, actually, over 90 minutes. Janai Gordon came probably as close as you get for the Puritans. He had a couple of close-range headers, one which was well saved in the first half and one which just went wide in the second half. But neither found a net, so that game ended goalless. And we've got a post-match interview with Simon Holyhead, who gave his thoughts about the draw. He spoke to Puritans Radio's Dave England after the game.
Your thoughts on today's game, Simon?
We've just said in there, we actually felt for large parts of that game we looked like we did in the first 4 league games. The structure was definitely evident, and it felt like the habits and the consistency that we saw in those opening league games was replicated at large parts today.
I think that's no coincidence. You start to get your spine of your team back, aren't you? You've got your captain back at Fusu, you've got Nico Jones as well alongside. All right, you're missing Ty Fleming today, but George Ball looked very lively in that first half.
Yeah, and I think it's easy to pick out sort of certain individuals, certain moment. You know, there's always moments in the game where people seem to have an impact in certain situations, but we shouldn't forget, yes, the boys have been training hard, but George Ball's coming back from a three game ban, so you don't quite have that match sort of consistency in that rhythm. And obviously the way he was treated late on, we've got to think about protection. Luckily his legs are still intact, so that's positive. And then obviously Alex is making his debut today. I thought he looked very comfortable, and it's going to be really, really quality addition for us. Of course, Nico has come back from an injury. Yao has missed a game. And when you miss games, you just lose that bit of rhythm.
So there was a game for Didcot Town last week, and Paul, they went up season 4 last, came straight back down again, and they come back down to the Southern League Division 1 South, and that means long trips to Cornwall in Mousehole, Falmouth, Helston, not to mention Exmouth in Devon. I mean, that's a tough ask, isn't it, for a part-time team, Paul?
Yeah, lots of travelling there, Colin, and it's just like Oxford City being on the edge of the catchment area. Didcot's also on the edge of the catchment area between different divisions, and the teams on the edge have always got lots of travelling to do. And I guess we feel sorry for the teams in Cornwall; they have to do it every single week of the year. But at least with Didcot, they've only got to go down to Cornwall a couple of times for the season. But it is expensive. You know, coach travel is getting more expensive, and you have to keep an eye on the costs. And it's really difficult where you've got small clubs trying to keep up with bigger clubs in the division, and you're spending a lot of money on coach trips and also overnight stays. Because I remember when Oxford City, we went down to Truro to play, and we'd have the players overnight in Cornwall the night before because it was too much travel for one day. Not just for the players, but the coach driver, because the coach driver couldn't get there and back in a day either. So.
Yeah, you forget how much coach travel has gone up these days, don't you? But in spite of Didcot Town's ups and downs, the club has stuck with the manager, Jamie Heapy, Paul.
Yeah, it's been a tough job for Jamie. You know, he's been in a division with lots of bigger clubs. You know, in the Premier League, there's some real big clubs at that level in there with some big budgets, and it was always going to be hard for Didcot to stay in the Premier League. So, you know, even though they've got relegated, it wasn't a disgrace of a season. I mean, I watched some good games at Didcot last year. They held their own a lot of the time, but it was always going to be difficult because they are one of the smaller clubs in there. And at least they're doing well this season. And they're a point off the playoffs at the moment in the division, so they're doing okay.
Yeah, they're doing okay. They're at home on Saturday, Patrick, and tell us how they got on along with the rest of the local results, the tables, and a look ahead to what footy fans got to look forward to this coming weekend. Patrick Lock.
Yeah, they had a difficult task actually on Saturday. They hosted top of the league Yate Town at the Luke Meadow Stadium, and unfortunately for them, Yate did show their title credentials really. A Jerry Lawrence goal saw the visitors to victory midway through the second half. And again, we can hear from assistant manager Paul Bedwell as Jamie Heapy was absent on Saturday, and he caught up with Daz King at full time.
You know, slightly frustrating that we haven't come away with anything today.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people said at half time it were the best they'd seen us play. I thought we certainly played some good football and knocked it about well.
It's like you said, it's weeks of training. We've sort of focused on what we want to do, play through the thirds of that, and get on the ball and play. And so we've been hammering it into the lads for weeks and weeks now, and it's starting to show on the pitch that we're retaining the ball better. We found we rushed things in the final third. We still slightly sort of try and force it a little bit, but we're getting there. Like we've said before, we're a work in progress. We're totally sort of different side from last year. We've got new players coming in. Again, like I said, a relatively new formation we've been working on. I played it first time last week. We only managed to get 10 minutes out of it before we had to change, obviously, with sending off. So today was really the first time, you know, we worked on it in training, but the first time we got the player today, and I think it does suit us with the players we've got.
In the Southern League Division 1 Central, unfortunately, there's a couple of defeats for our sides. Two powerful Raposo goals weren't enough to stop Kidlington defeated 4-2 at home to Welling Garden City. While Tame United felt the wrath of Rail Bedford, actually. They condemned them to a 7-2 thrashing. Tom McElroy with 2 Tame goals there. Down into Step 5, Wallingford and Crowmarsh were victors on Saturday. They beat Berks County 2-1. Ty Hamilton gave the home side the lead on the stroke of half-time, and after Berks equalised, the winner came from Ryan Shepherd with about 10 minutes to play. So a good win for them there. Other 2 games in combined counties Premier saw Ardley United beaten 3-2 on their travels to North Greenford United, and Milton United were also beaten. They were 4-2 defeated 4-2 away at Woking Town. In the United Counties Premier, Easington Sports were also defeated on their travels, and they were Northampton Owen Chennicks, which is, I always find is a brilliant name for a football club. Heading down into step 6, Abingdon United kept up their good form. They won 1-0 away at Southam United. Wunchurst Town also won 1-0 away from home with an absolute last gasp winner, almost the last kick of the game at Titherington Rocks. Charlie Knight slotted home in the 96th minute, and actually it's even more impressive when you learn that Wantage played for 70 minutes with 10 men after an early red card, so very impressive win for them there. Otherwise, in the Hellenic Division 1, it was unfortunately not much else to write home about. Casterton lost 2-0 at Chipping Sodbury Town. Clanfield lost 2-0 at Shortwoods, and Kidlington Reserves lost 4-0 at Stonehouse Town to wrap up the Step 6 results. On Sunday, there's a big win for Oxford United women actually on the road. They won 2-1 away at Watford. Ruby Seeley scoring twice in the first half there to give them a win. And Oxford City women were 5-0 up at half-time. A fantastic first half from them there. So they beat Badshot Lee 6-1 at Court Place Farm. Georgina Tayman scored twice, whilst Ellie White, Emil Harris, Emily Donahue and an own goal completed the scoring for City there. But it wasn't quite so good news for Abingdon United women, who saw their FA Cup run ended with a heavy 8-1 defeat at home to Worthing there. So a quick look at the tables, and Oxford United win season second in National League South after a good start to the season for them. And Oxford City have had a good start to the season as well. They're second in the Southern Region Women's Football League Premier. And looking at the men's tables, obviously Oxford United and Oxford City's positions unchanged really the last week, considering neither played. So Oxford United 10th in the Championship still, Oxford City 23rd in National League North. Banbury, they're currently 11th in the Southern League Premier Central, while Didcot's defeat did see them drop to 8th in the Southern League Division 1 South, but as Paul mentioned earlier, it's still a good start to the season and still very much in the mix for the playoffs. Southern League Division 1 Central, and obviously not a few not so good results there. So Tame have dropped to 11th, while Northley 19th and Kidlington 20th there. So coming up on Saturday, and I tried to tease it last week, but Colin thankfully picked me up on it quickly. But Oxford United host West Brom on Saturday in an early kickoff at the Kassam, 12:30 kickoff there. Oxford City, they take to the M6 actually. They travel up to Warrington Town in National League North. Banbury United also on the road. They head to Spalding United in the Southern League Division 1 Premier Central. Didcot Town also on the road. They head around to Bath to face Larkhall Athletic in the Southern League Division 1 South. While in the Southern League Division 1 Central, Kidlington also on the travels to Kings Langley. While Northley are at home to Enfield, as are Tame United, who host Ware. And finally, on Sunday, no fixture for Oxford United women, but Oxford City are away at East Oxford Ladies in the Oxfordshire Women's Senior Cup. And women are also in County Cup action. They host Woodley United in the Berks and Bucks Women's Senior Cup. So that's what's happened and what's coming up, Colin, and back to you.
And Paul, of course, the big gig is Whitney Town, isn't it? So that's the one that people should actually, if they got to, and it's free as well. So if you got less pennies in your pocket than you should have, where they got to go, Paul, on Saturday?
To the Whitney ATP, which is in Gordon Way in Whitney, off of Station Lane. It's artificial turf pitch. Refreshments are there. They've got refreshments and lots of room for everybody. So look forward to seeing a nice crowd there again this week.
Yeah, okay, you heard it here first. That's it for this week's Lock, Lyon and Ryde. Back to the main studio for much more Ox Sports Unleashed.
Our thanks to the Charlie's Angels there. I don't know which one was Farrah Fawcett, but I'll let you make up your mind there. Probably before their time.
Before my time as well, Darryl.
And what a great story. Patrick Lock, our producer, presenter.
Extraordinaire.
Results roundup person going to Gibraltar. What a fantastic effort.
Brilliant.
Well done, Patrick. I know you had a good time. So, our thanks. I know I take the mickey each week, but our thanks do go out to Colin Ryde, Patrick Lock and Paul Lyon for putting that together for us. It's brilliant. And that gives me a good chance to just mention a new contributor to Ox Sports Unleashed, who's joined us.
New member of the team.
Blake Bint has joined us from doing some stuff at Wormsley, at Challow for the cricket on the T20 finals. We liked what we heard from the commentating point of view, and he's now joined us and he's put a few things together for us tonight. So welcome, Blake, and thank you very much for your contributions.
Yeah, we've put him on the payroll, haven't we? He's on the payroll.
If you want to get involved, be part of the team, or you want to send us any clips of anything that sport within Oxfordshire in the last week, please send it to our email address at oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. That's oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com, and we will use it. So thank you if you do send us any.
The only slight drawback with having Blake on board is he's quite professional, and it makes us look a little bit amateur. So Blake, very, very welcome, Blake. And as Darryl says, anybody else wants to contribute, please do so, because the more contributors we get, the better. Over the next couple of weeks or months, we're going to be returning to cricket. We're going to be bringing up darts and snooker and possibly dodgeball as well, motorsport again. So we are really trying to cover as many sports as we possibly can. And if your sport is something that doesn't get covered, and it's a sport that maybe is not one of the major sports in the county, but you want some coverage, again, email us, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. We'll be very happy to send Dan, the cameraman, down. He's also on our payroll. Has he had a pay rise? Yeah.
In fact, he's had a pay cut this week.
Pay cut, because he was very rude to us, wasn't he? So. Okay, so before we move on to the next little bit of football, in terms of Witney Town and their first ever home game, which was actually last week, the week before, we are going to just pause for a moment, because Oxfordshire sporting community, the football community in particular, were shocked and really devastated to hear the news of the passing of Abingdon United player Jack Badger a few weeks ago. Just a young man, and Abingdon United were very, very shocked, and they've held some charity football games and have raised an awful lot of money for Jack's young family. They put together this tribute to Jack a couple of weeks ago, and with their permission, we want to show you that tribute, because it's a beautiful tribute to a man that is clearly was very, very well loved in Oxfordshire.
A house built out of stone, wooden floors, walls and windowsills.
Good,
tables and chairs rolled by. This is a place where I don't feel this is a place where I feel at home.
Jack Badger, the Abingdon United player who tragically passed away a few weeks ago. And as you saw on that little package there, it's no problem if you want to talk to somebody. People often think that mental health is something that you need to hide away. You really don't. And I know that everybody in Oxfordshire, the whole community and the whole sporting community across all the leagues as well paid tribute to him. An incredible amount of money raised on his GoFundMe page, over £32,500. And I think that just shows the love and affection that everybody had for Jack, and he will never ever be forgotten. A couple of weeks ago they had a game against Wantage Town in the Hellenic League. Over 1,500 people in the ground, a record attendance for Abingdon United. And again, Darryl, that just shows, doesn't it, the affection that everybody had for Jack, and he will never be missed.
No, it's a really glowing tribute to the young man. And, if there is a situation, as Kieren has already alluded to, please do pick up the phone, Oxfordshire Mind, Samaritans, whoever, close friend, whatever. Do talk, it's so important. So, please do that. Big message there. That takes us on to Witney Football Club, who also support mental health in Oxfordshire. And they had their first game, an exciting prospect, because this was the first game that they've had for many years at a home ground, that they were hosting Kennington. And we've got some highlights for you now, with a bit of an interview with Ben Reardon, the manager, afterwards.
Ben, good win this afternoon against Kennington. Your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, it's a fantastic win. I think today the support was, it gave us that like 12th man. I thought we were really, really good in possession. First half, a little bit lacklustre from us. It was a very good goal from them, but we were patient all game. We went in at half time, regrouped, and I said to them, just be really patient, keep doing what you're doing, up the energy levels, the intensity, and we'll get something out of this game. And that's exactly what they did.
Is that a thought going on to how you're looking at the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think so, and I've said it before in managers' thoughts after the games that our energy levels are superb, and we've won a lot of our games in the final 20 minutes, and it just shows that the midfield for just unbelievable today, really, really good.
Looking ahead to next week's fixture, any changes that you feel that you need to make from today, or is it pretty much the same?
I think it'll be pretty much the same, to be honest with you. I think if we, at home, if we play with that intensity again, I don't think that many teams in this league will be able to live with us. So coming off a 3-1 win, it's hard to change something, really.
Over from me, but thank you very much for this afternoon. See you again.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to Dan Smith for putting that piece together on Witney Football Club's first home game. They do now have a YouTube channel, and Dan is doing all the filming. So good luck.
Do they pay more than we do?
Probably,
yeah,
probably. Peanuts. It was a 3-1 win. They have gone to the top of the league, and it was quite an interesting oldest man on the park. Chris Allen, the legend that is, sin-binned for being a little bit disappointed being called up for handball. So he should know better at his age, shouldn't he?
He should, but it didn't look like handball either.
It didn't. I think he was a little bit unlucky. We moved sports quite quickly to boxing, and Brad Axe, as we mentioned on our first show, was heading off to Texas for his second professional fight against Julian Delgado, and we have the highlights of that fight now.
Last weekend, Bicester boxer Brad Axe made the trip to Texas.
Serving in the RAF, and here in his second professional fight. Behind him,
As Sweet Caroline rang around the Jacob Brown Auditorium, Axe was looking to record a second professional career win. The 27-year-old may be a late starter to his professional career, but his 12 years of experience proved an early sign of advantage as he settled into round one the better of the two fighters.
they look like they're coming to throw some leather, so this fight should...
Delgado grew into the round as he also was searching for a second win in as many professional fights. A couple of blows towards the end of the round stated his case to take the points. Round 2 started as round 1 left off, Delgado the aggressor, Axe waiting for his chance to counter-punch.
Who was in the lead in between the UK and the US.
After a first round that looked relatively even, the Axeman thought he had a knockdown to take round 2. In round 3 the pendulum began to swing. Delgado, with the crowd behind him, had the first decisive advantage, knocking down Axe with a combination of shots to the body. Axe, unable to withstand the pressure, forced to take a 9 count before getting back to his feet.
Another body shot. Right hand, and referee James Green now giving him that 10 count. Now will the Axeman get up and continue or not? And he does. He answers the bell at count number.
Entering the 4th and final round, the 23-year-old Delgado forced to defend when Axe came out swinging, looking to swing the judges' decisions in his favour after a tight first 2 rounds and a decisive third against him. Axe spent the majority of the final round chasing victory. Delgado stood strong but couldn't prevent one final threat just before the bell. When decision time came, the judges were unanimous in their decision, Axe returning to Oxfordshire with a first professional loss, but not without a promising display.
USA takes the lead. King Julian Delgado.
Thanks there to Blake for that reel. Really good. Good first introduction. I know. And luckily for Brad there, the Axeman just came up short on his second fight. He will be in the studio to give us his account of that fight and his up-and-coming fight also in December. So he's not hanging around, he's getting back in the ring. I suppose like riding a bike, getting back on the bike, isn't it? And obviously we'll be really interested to see what he has to say about that fight and obviously his future.
Didn't he say that we could do a challenge KDog in the ring with him? I don't fancy that.
I think we could do that.
Yeah, I don't fancy that one.
The producers are nodding
I know.
viciously there.
I think people would pay good money to see me getting smashed in the face, wouldn't they? Yeah, definitely.
Any donations greatly received.
Yeah. That could be our Christmas fund. Right, on to field hockey now. As you know, a couple of weeks ago, Darryl and myself went down to Witney Hockey Club to see the unveiling of their new £250,000 new hockey facility, which was absolutely outstanding. On that day, there was lots of kids in the morning. They were the first people to christen the new pitch, and I remember seeing little Viv ran out with a massive smile on his face, and the first people that used the new surface was the juniors, the up-and-coming youngsters from Witney Hockey Club. And then during the day itself, Witney had a number of games against Abingdon Hockey Club. We did a bit of a feature on Witney a couple of weeks ago, and after the opening, we caught up with members of Abingdon Hockey Club and discussed their season and how they're hoping to go this year.
Hi, this is Harry, men's ones captain at Abingdon. So I joined Abingdon probably four years ago, pre-lockdown, as I moved into the area, and it was an up-and-coming club at the time, and since then we've continued to build on that initial success. And for this year, the ambition is to consolidate ourselves at this new level in Tier 2 of hockey. We've definitely got the squad to do so, and so far the results have been promising and pre-season's been great. So yeah, consolidation is definitely our target this year. So I was originally from East London / Essex way, so I am an expat to Abingdon. I moved here purely for work. I had a pit stop at Reading Hockey Club on the way, and then moved to Abingdon just before lockdown. And I've been there 4 years now. Been the captain this is my third season. Loving every minute of it. It's a great club.
Hiya, I'm Tim Chilvers. I am lead hockey coach for the Abingdon men's section. So I played all around the place. I grew up playing at Oxford Hawks, moved to Witney actually, just here after an injury, and then moved back to Abingdon, sort of with a bit of a project in mind as the body was getting a bit older. So yes, I've been playing at Abingdon now for, well, it had been 5 years, but obviously COVID interrupted one of those years. So I coach all the men's section at Abingdon, the ones through to the fives, really well. So I mean, we've got a great team of guys on the committee that put in so much work. And people that work for sponsorships. You've got someone that makes sure the captains understand their roles, etc. And it just really helps go from strength to strength, really. A bit of success on the pitch in the first couple of years has helped to pull in a few players, but then from there the management of them, by those individuals has really helped the club to flourish. And I think we've gone up 3 years and 3 seasons now, and trying to see how we go in Prem 2.
Started playing hockey at primary school at Charnlings on the grass, and that developed into going to Abingdon and playing at Tilsley Park and playing club hockey at Oxford for a few years. But then when we came to A-level year, we thought living 3 minutes away from Tilsley, moving to Abingdon was a good choice because it was closer and enabled us to play a higher standard as we played today.
Pretty much the same story. Shockingly, it's nice to just be able to pop down to Tilsley with a 5-minute drive on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, it's once a week, every Tuesday, Tilsley Park, and game Saturdays, and then obviously we're quite busy with school sport as well. So this time I'll be playing hockey at school as well, so I get a lot of hockey between kind of September and April during the cricket season.
And then I'm doing cross country at school 3 times a week and running on a Sunday as well. So plenty of fitness for the hockey season.
Thanks there to the Veal brothers, twins, and also to Abingdon Hockey. Thanks to Tim and to Harry there for giving us their time, and obviously for the hospitality we received at Witney Hockey on that morning. It was
it's a brilliant day, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. It was really appreciated, and that sort of brings me nicely to if any other hockey teams are wishing to be featured on Ox Sports Unleashed. you know where to send it to. It's oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. Send those clips to us and we will use them. So we go from to the artificial to the ice hockey. Nice segue there. And to Oxford City Stars. And unfortunately, at the weekend, they come unstuck against Slough Jets, another great name in ice hockey, losing, as you can see there, 11-3. Goal scorers, C. Wilson, Tidings and Hughes. Quite a difference in shots on that, as you can see. But we wish them all the best. And this weekend coming up, there are loads of different ice hockey matches going on. The City Stars, as you can see, will be playing Solent Devils on the Saturday. And just been told that I was putting my hand over the microphone there. So if you didn't hear me, I apologise. The Rising Stars will be playing the, they're playing the Phantoms, aren't they? And the Midnight Stars, the ladies team, are playing the Kodiaks. And then on Sunday, the face-off for the under-19s versus Milton Keynes is at 4:15 p.m. And the face-off for Oxford City Stars against the Buccaneers is at 6:15. So good luck to all the City Stars this weekend whenever you're playing. So good luck to one and all.
And if you want to get down to the ice rink, 40 years old this year, celebrated their 40th anniversary a couple of weeks ago. If you want to get down to any of the ice hockey, then you can visit the Oxford City Stars website and you can find ticket information there. You went last year, Darryl, didn't you? And had a great time. It's a really good sport. And it's really good entertainment as well. So go to the Oxford City Stars website and you can get all ticketing information from there. Okay, we're going to now revert back to the summer. We're going to remember the glorious heady days of summer and all those lovely hot days and dry days. What? There wasn't any. But we're going to talk about a lad who is an Oxfordshire player, Oxfordshire born and bred, Gus Miller. Now, he actually hailed from these parts, from Oxford Downs, so he played cricket for Oxford Downs Cricket Club. But he has had a successful year with the Northamptonshire Steelbacks. And Darryl called up with Gus this week and just asked him about his season that's gone and looking ahead to the future.
Welcome to Oxsports Unleashed, an exclusive for our programme. Again, we have had a couple of exclusives recently, and I'm really pleased to be joined initially by Gus Miller, playing for Northampton Steelbacks, and his sister will be joining us shortly from the Sunrisers in Northampton as well. So welcome, Gus. Thanks for joining.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
I want to sort of just go back initially to your call up, if you like, for Northampton, your sort of journey into Northampton cricket, if you like. How did that sort of come about? Who's been the sort of main people that have helped you get there?
Yeah, well, I was obviously did all the Oxfordshire age groups to start with, and while we lived in Oxford, and then didn't get into Abingdon School, didn't pass the test. So went to Bedford School and still did the Oxford stuff the first year that I was in Bedford, and then got asked to go to one of the Northants Academy sessions. Did a few of them, and they invited me onto their academy, which at the time was obviously a great opportunity for me when I was 15. And Phil Rowe then was the academy director at Northants. So it was quite a smooth transition over the winter to play for Northants.
And you took the move, didn't you? You moved from Oxfordshire to Bedfordshire as well, I believe.
I never played for Bedfordshire. I've played for Bedfordshire men's minor counties team, but not the age groups.
Yeah, cool. And you actually you moved house as well from that journey. Is that correct?
Yeah, we moved up to Bedford when we all started going to school here. So yeah, a bit of a change. About I think it was 13 or 14 years old.
Yeah, it must have been a bit of a strain at that age, wasn't it? To sort of up sticks and go somewhere like that because it's a prestigious school. So yeah, what was it like there? What was the change, and how did you feel about that change at that stage?
I was quite reluctant at the time because a lot of my friends that I had all were going to Abingdon School, or staying obviously near the area at least. So it's
nicely.
sort of quite a daunting feeling, I guess, just completely moving to a new school and stuff like that. But as soon as I started, I loved it, and I loved school. It was such a good school for sport, and very good at rugby there as well, and have produced a lot of first class cricketers as well.
Yeah, absolutely. A certain Alistair Cook, I believe, may be one of them. So yeah, it was some high caliber there. So what was the coaching like there? Did you sort of do cricket sort of quite a lot there? Was it sort of 2-3 times a week? Was it more than that, or what did that look like?
Yeah, there was always like winter nets on and stuff like that. Can't really remember, but it was definitely sort of twice a week during the winter, and you could go in at lunch times and stuff if you wanted to do some more stuff by yourself. But yeah, it was brilliant. And they used to get people in to do sort of master classes, like whether it was bowling or batting. So yeah, they definitely put a lot of stuff on to try and help people get better at a young age.
Brilliant. And then, of course, that culminated in you getting a first-class debut against Glamorgan in June of this year, I believe. And how did that come about?
I think so. I didn't play in the first team for the first half of the season, and then I think someone got injured or was resting or something, and I was sort of going up in the squad. I didn't know that I would definitely play, but I sort of was looking around and thinking, well, you're going to have to pick 11 here. And so I think I've got a good chance of playing. Then sort of the morning of the game, still didn't know for sure. And then the head coach came up to me and said, you're going to play. And, yeah.
What was that feeling like, actually, Gus? What did you feel? Was there any excitement? Was there nervous energy? What did it feel like?
I think both. I think it was quite nice. It was just on the morning, didn't have loads of time to think about, what could happen or what I want to happen or stuff like that. So you just sort of got on with it. But no, it was obviously a very proud moment for myself and something that I've worked very hard towards for the last, 4 or 5 years. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
No, great stuff, and you have contributed, and congratulations again to you, because the contract has been extended, hasn't it, for until 2027? Am I right in saying that?
26,
yeah. So well done, well deserved. So that's brilliant news. I'll take you back a little bit further to the Oxford Downs days, because that's where you started your youth cricket from quite a young age, I think. And what was that like coming through, and who were your coaches there?
Yeah, no, it was always good fun. I used to really look forward to coming down to training on Wednesday nights, especially the burgers. I think there's something about the burgers afterwards as well, which kept me coming back. Yeah, no, it was always really good fun. There was a lot of people there that I enjoyed playing cricket with. So Freddie Smith, who's still playing there. We always were good mates, and went to the same school at the time as well. And Ted Heap was coaching me at the time, as well as Roger Berryman as well. So yeah,
both legends.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Absolutely, and Ted would have been instrumental in pushing you the Northants direction as well, wouldn't he? Actually,
yeah. He organised for me to go on like those sort of trial days type things as well, and he still has a lot of connections with Northants actually.
Gets that one
Yeah,
through.
yeah, no, brilliant. I remember, Gus, and we said this off air, that I remember you at 12 or 13, you and Freddie, me with the bowling machine, pummeling you with short stuff from about 16 yards away, and you just going back and just smashing it, put you in good stead. And I thought then that there was a bit of a future for you. Do you remember those days of being pummeled by cricket balls?
Vaguely, yeah. But yeah, I remember getting pummeled a lot by Alan Duncan when I was with Oxfordshire. So yeah, I
He would have been on
remember
the
that
old sidearm, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He done the whole back on the old sidearm, does Alan. So no, it would have put you in really good stead for what you're playing now. So it's it's proper stuff. So that was quite interesting, because the Oxfordshire pathway sort of led really to Bedfordshire minor counties, as you said, and that's quite an interesting change, isn't it? In some respects, I remember I think one of your coaches was my lad, actually. I think Matt coached you at under 15 county level, if I remember rightly, and he was always used to say, "Oh, he's a good player, but I'm not sure." He said that was what he said to me going back in the day. But it proved him wrong, so that was good. Obviously, winter is obviously as it's pouring down with rain now as we speak, coming close. You're off to Australia again for the winter. So where's that, and who you're playing for?
Yeah, I'm going back to Adelaide again, same club, which is just Adelaide Cricket Club. Went last year as well. Going for a little bit longer this year, so I'll be going sort of end of October until sort of probably around the last week of February or so. Yeah, I think it's really good, like for everyone to do, especially when you're a bit younger and stuff. You just carry on playing, and the standard of grade cricket in Australia is really good. Like it's similar to county second 11 cricket, and if not better at times, depending on who you're playing. So yeah, I found it really beneficial, and the facilities and everything out in Australia, probably because of the weather, like always training on good grass wickets and stuff. And I think it's been like very good for my development. Keep on going back.
It's probably one of your recommendations to any young cricketer, isn't it? Just try and get out there and or somewhere abroad to play some cricket in the winter.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it teaches you a lot about yourself as well, and you have to be quite resourceful out there, like with your training and stuff. Like make connections with other players, or try and find coaches to help you develop and stuff like that. So I thought it was always really good for things like that. Yeah, and then obviously you have to just sort of, when I first went when I was 18, you sort of just out of school, it's the first time you're sort of on your own. So it's a good way of sort of growing up a bit quicker as well.
Yeah, it all helps, doesn't it? And they train quite hard, don't they, in Australia? So it puts you in good stead. It really does.
Yeah, it's extremely competitive, like the matches on the weekend and stuff like that. So yeah.
I just thought of a question there for you. What sledging in Australia? I'm sure you must have had. Have you had a really good sledge against you down under?
Not really, to be honest. They're not particularly clever. I wouldn't say they're as clever as English sledges. They're just usually a bit more blunt.
I understand that. I could, definitely understand that. So, really, what does the future look like for you, Gus? What goals do you want to achieve in 2025?
I think having had like a good taste now of first team cricket in all formats, it'll be cementing my place, and then quickly after doing that, then putting some good performances on the board. It's nice to have played this year, but now you want to contribute consistently. I'm excited at the prospect of playing like more white ball cricket as well. Like, I think it's just exciting the way that area of the game is developing so quickly, and the opportunities that can arise like rapidly from white ball cricket is pretty cool to see. So yeah, I think just being able to contribute consistently in first team cricket is going to be a goal of mine, and you never know what can come from those sorts of performances.
Do you prefer the shorter format, Gus, or do you prefer the longer game? What is it? Or is
Well, you're asking me now after having fielded for 150 overs last week against Yorkshire, so 2020 sounds pretty appealing at the minute. But I think I really enjoy both, all formats, to be honest. But yeah, I just like the way that the white ball cricket is growing and like how rapidly it's managing to grow and draw people into the game. It's more fun when you get like the big crowds in compared to the championship games. But no, I really enjoy red ball cricket as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Have you got sort of aspirations to get in the 100 draw? Is that something you're looking to do? Is that a goal?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's something that I would want to do. I think I never really like look at things and say, I want to do this. I suppose it's like trying to keep it a bit more in the here and now. And like, I think those sorts of things take care of themselves if you just keep performing in whatever game you're playing in, and you never know what will happen. But I think those things look after themselves, sort of, if you keep doing the right sort of things.
I think that's really sensible, Gus. I have to say, that sounds a very level-headed reply as well. So yeah, I like that idea, because you don't want to be putting yourself under undue pressure actually in thinking, I want to do this, I want to do that, and actually just let things play out as it happens. Is that fair?
Yeah, especially when it comes down to like someone else's view. Like if you say like, I want to get 1,000 first-class runs in a year, if you're opening the batting all year, then that's kind of like your own thing. But when you say, I want to get selected for something, you might get more runs, but someone might just not select you. There's nothing that you can really control about that.
Yeah, no, good point. And the last, before we get your sister in to have a chat, your proper name. Do you want to say it, or shall I say it?
Augustus Horatio Miller.
There you go. Now, I'm going to put it out there. I cannot believe there is another first-class cricketer that has either been Augustus or Horatio. I don't know. I've never Googled it. We'll have to find out. We'll let them know on the live show. But that is a fantastic name, mate. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. I'm not sure where it's even come from, to be honest. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? Don't get much say over the matter.
No, it's not one of those things you can, but you prefer Gus, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
For now, Gus Miller, thanks ever so much for your time there, and good luck in Adelaide, and obviously good luck for the 2025 season when it comes back for Northants, the Steelbacks, etc. So thank you very much.
Perfect. Cheers, Darryl. Thank you.
Our thanks there to Augustus Horatio Miller, or Gus as he likes to be known. Really good to catch up with Gus, and stay tuned next week for an exclusive with Flo Miller, who had a winning title of the Rachel Hayhoe Flint with the Sunrisers. It's a really good interview. I just shouldn't say that, but she comes across really well. So stay tuned for next week's show, as we will bring that to you. So that's over to you, KDog.
Well, she's already a hero for me, because she prevented Wes Spearman from winning any trophies or lifting trophies, parading around like John Terry used to do at Chelsea, getting himself into all the team pictures. I know. Yeah. Wes, bad luck, mate. You didn't win anything this year. Never mind. Right, we're nearly at the end of the show. We are now going to come to you with all our results roundup for the last week, including the midweek games. And this was put together by, it was put together by me actually, but Blake Bint again helped us greatly on this and put it all together. So this is all the results from the football and the rugby union from the weekend and the midweek games.
Results brought to you there by Specsavers. Thank you, Blake, for that. Hopefully you could see your club's results this week. Sorry, that's just silly, isn't it?
Other opticians are available.
Other opticians are available, Vision Express, etc. Boots, something like that. Anyway, moving swiftly on to the hockey results from this last weekend for Witney. And the Witney hockey men's first 11 had a loss against Fareham Seconds 2-1. The Seconds ran out 4-1 winners against South Park's Thurs, and the Threes had a 3-1 victory at Abingdon Threes, and the Fours ran out 2-0 winners at Tring Twos. So that's good. And then the ladies, first 11 drew with Reading Seconds 2-2, and the second 11 won 3-0 against the Phoenix First, great name. And then there was an intra-club game between the Thirds and Fourths, and the Thirds came up on top on that, 3-0, and the fifth team drew 2-2 again with Oxford Hawks 7th 11. So again, as we mentioned before, if you want your results, any results of any sport shown on Ox Sports Unleashed, please do email us at oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com.
And they come with a free magnifying glass.
They come with a free magnifying glass, exactly. And that's about wraps it up. KDog, what's your thoughts on tonight's show?
Yeah, it was okay. Thank you to Blake again. I think you did forget to put him on the end credits, so thank you, Blake. I'll just say thank you again. Yeah, we've got loads coming up over the coming weeks. We don't think we have any other breaks, touch wood, between now and Christmas. If we do, we'll let you know. But as I said, we've got snooker coming up, a bit more boxing, some darts, some motorsport. Challenge KDog may return. Well, it will return. Ben Cox, I know you're watching. Yes, we will definitely get our heads together and come along and have that driving challenge to see whether me or Darryl is the better driver. I think I know the answer to that, having been in his van an awful lot, absolutely, without a doubt, because my Skip is very comfortable and doesn't rattle like your van does. No, that is it, Darryl, I think. I have nothing further to say, so I will hand over to you to close the show.
Yeah, thanks again for watching, wherever you've watched us. Thank you. We do appreciate it, and thanks to all the people who have contributed to our episode tonight. So thanks to one and all. So that does wrap it up. The week that India were bowled out for 46. That was Ox Sports Unleashed. Please join us next week where we'll unleash some more Ox Sports. It's good night from me.
See ya.